triggers and transfers. मैं उत्तेजित हुआ, ये एक ट्रिगर है कि ट्रांसफर है. We all have drops, we all have oceans. We have a drop of jealousy. We might have an ocean of jealousy. Drop of joy, ocean of joy. Drop of anger, ocean of anger. We can have ponds also. We can have streams also. We can have rivers also. We can have different sizes of bodies of water. We can have a cup also. What ends up happening, if you take a drop and you put 2-3 drops here, a little larger of a puddle, and you take a matchstick and you just connect the two bodies, chances are they will merge together. Sometimes they will not. Sometimes they will, depending on the proximity. The closer the proximity, the chances are higher for the merge to happen. When we interact with another person or situation, depending on the drops and the oceans and the proximity, when we connect, we create those lines. We create that matchstick that's going back and forth, connecting those drops and oceans. So there's a large transfer of energy that happens. It can be from a conversation over the telephone. It can be a text message. It can be an in-person meeting. It can be a brief shake of the hand. It can be that formal hug. It can be anything. It does not take much. It can be memory also. Finding out whether something is a trigger or a transfer now. A trigger is usually more instantaneously done. Per se, that if someone says something and we get upset, usually there's a bit of a history behind it that it happens so fast. So we've taken what has come in front of us and we've had this whole ocean from before, and that's come and joined that and created the explosion. All of a sudden, there's this not so pleasant feeling. A transfer can be instantaneous also, but it's sometimes not as evident unless we're really, really sensitive and really, really in tune. And usually if we're really, really sensitive and really, really in tune and really, really clear, then too also it'll be hard to notice it like that fast, because it's still on a very subtle level. We can just feel not nice, but we can't exactly pinpoint it just yet. Let's say after the interaction, the person has left. Now compared to 1 hour before the meeting and now, we don't feel so nice. Now we think, okay, the person is gone. It is just me now left. So that means it must be me. The problem must be here only. Possible, as there was a drop earlier. But the question is, was there an ocean earlier? If one felt very sad, lonely, depressed, not so good, then we interacted and then we're back ourselves. And again, we still feel sad, lonely, depressed. The feeling is same, and chances are, if we were not feeling like that, we're like, okay, yeah, there's a little bit of nice if someone to talk to or something, and that's it, nothing beyond that. Then we could say, okay, perhaps the other person coming makes us feel more our own feelings. Now we realize it a little bit more. That is also a possibility. But it also then, again, it depends on who the person is and how clean their aura is and so on and so forth. If their aura is cleaner than ours, then yes, it will reflect back and we will all of a sudden notice how miserable we truly are. If we've been evading ourselves, if we haven't been evading ourselves and we have been paying attention and we have been sitting with ourselves, and then the change happens, chances are it's not that in that direction. Chances are we have downloaded an ocean. Part of a way to check this now, we can sometimes, to correct this, we try, okay, think happy thoughts, positivity. Focus on the sunlight. Focus on the positive thing. Listen to music or something, but it's not working. Sometimes if the transfer is heavy enough, we can pick up physical ailments also. All of a sudden, there's trouble breathing. All of a sudden, we have a headache. All of a sudden, there's back pain. All of a sudden, there's some problem that wasn't there 1 hour ago, without anything else being done to have triggered that, per se. Then too also we know that there has been a exchange. Someone had said, I'm not exactly sure, and I don't want to name because if I name the wrong name, that's also not nice. But one of the yogis had said, you take a coat and you leave it in a room full of smoke. Eventually the coat will start smelling like smoke. When we subject ourselves to adverse energy time and time again over long durations, it becomes hard to decipher what is ourself and what is being absorbed. And slowly by slowly, we do end up synchronizing with that energy. Right when we first notice something going off, we need to stand alert and try to create a distance from it, no matter how compelling it is. Adverse energy is quite compelling, it's quite aggressive, it's quite binding. It's a bit hellish. The fact that it is so binding and so intense, not in a good way, should also draw attention of something being off. Distance required. Either coming out of that vicinity, either some sort of distance, some time gap is required. Once we notice, we start left to ourselves, we start normalizing and not feeling as wretched. And then once we go back, again, we feel wretched again. Come back out, feel fine. Go back in, feel wretched again. Know that it is a transfer of energy. There's smoke in the room. We need to do whatever it is in our power to move away from that. Many a times it is said, oh, the water can only sink the boat only if it has holes in it. The problem is, bhai sahab, abhi to Kalyug hai. We all have holes. Chances of being, because we've been frequenting the earth for some time now, there's a lot of prarabdha, there's a lot of karma, there's a lot of lives, and there's a lot of strings attached. None of us are pristine, brand new boats. Now mein chhed hai. So water will seep in. The ocean will come inside the boat and we will sink. So we have to patch it up, dry dock it, do whatever it takes to make sure that ocean does not get inside. We fill from above as much as we can, but we also have to make sure those holes are plugged, because otherwise what we fill also will go that way. Channi nahi banna. We don't want to become a strainer. We cannot catch water that way. We cannot catch light that way. We cannot increase prana that way. We cannot lift our vibrations that way if we're full of holes. And when we're constantly in a place that's poking holes, putting nails, that's also counterproductive, and then it becomes a whole big mess. A lot of times what happens is, sometimes we work on ourselves, we raise our vibrations, and then we encounter certain situations or people that bring us back down. And all of a sudden, okay, wait, I know this emotion, I know these thoughts, the familiar, been there, done that. I'm broken. There's something wrong. I'm not that. We go into this whole self-doubt mode. Karna nahi hai. Make note that, okay, we are revisiting something that has been visited before, but this time we are just going to watch. We are not going to engage. We're not going to go down that spiral. We are not going to be one with the smoke. We're not going to be one with that ocean. जितना हो सके थोड़ी सी दूरी बनाने का. Moving back. In this now, through diet, through timing, lifestyle, distance, whatever, साम दाम दंड भेद जो लगे करो, to increase light in being, in thought, in this thing, music, art, whatever it is, do it. Not in the pleasure-seeking sense, not in the sense gratification sense, but in the upliftment sense, in the freedom sense, in the motivation sense, in the inspiration sense, in the peaceful sense, if nothing else, just to be silent and still. Joy, no joy, fine. Bliss, no bliss, fine. Silent and still. Then work to move things and do things accordingly which can maintain that. Making silence and stillness our North Pole, our center of gravity, and then situate life and being around that. Helps continuously remembering that every single situation we go into, every single trigger we have, every single interaction we have, every single transfer we have, center of gravity, peace, stillness,